Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am
happy to our cheers.
Yeah, the cheers make me happy. The cheers make me happy.
Yeah.
One day, Deke, you and I will be sitting in a stadium, right? And we'll have the whole thing, probably full of nobody, but there'll be like, maybe we can get 10 people to show up, and then they can do the cheers for us live, and then that'll feel good.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Hi, buddy. This is what happens when we don't get to talk to each other for 5 minutes before the show starts.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. What's up?
Welcome to the show. He has no idea what's going on. It's been disaster morning here. The women in my house.
You were smacking your face there a minute ago before the show started. I was watching JJ smack his face thinking, oh, man, he's had a rough morning already.
Adjust yourself right now. Change your attitude. Will it into existence that you are in a good mood. And, I'm not in a bad mood. I just had some, whatever. We all got problems. Who gives a shit? Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. This is rumble.com/JJW. I'm JJ. That's Deacon. And we meet every morning to drink coffee and talk about the news and politics and culture, pop culture. Dishwashers? Probably not dishwashers. That didn't go too well yesterday. And, just about the news of the day. Start the day off the best we can. Frame your day right now. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, and before you get your hopes up, we are not news reporters. We're two dads. Mm-hmm. This should have been a phone call. We're just going to talk like we're hanging out in your house talking about this stuff.
If you're here, we'll talk to you too.
If you want a professional news podcast organization, like a lot of our comments say, there's 1,000 of them, man. Go do that. Go
Well, I'm not a credentialed journalist. And who credentials? Who? You know what? He's a doctor. What is that?
I am a doctor.
He is a doctor. He's a doctor, lawyer, limited liability.
And pawn shop. And loan shark.
Guys, I was listening to a little bit of Deacon's show, his actual real show, before our show. Yeah, I hung it out in there. I was like, hey, what's up? And you were just like, not listening. You were
I was working on this. I was working on my book for about 30 minutes, and then I looked up and I was like, oh my God, it's 5 minutes till 8. Holy shit.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's my bad.
I saw 8 come and go, and I was like, I think he's
doing something else. I was not paying attention. I was working on my book.
Well, I only got the show set up like 6 minutes before we were supposed to go. Okay, so the book thing is very exciting. Deke and I had a little conference call yesterday, maybe the day before, and we were getting very close. He's getting very close to being able to
print
do something exciting.
Copy of a book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once we get, you got 5 books, so you have 5 print files.
I've got a lot more than that. I just have 5 that are.
He's got 5 that are basically ready to go.
Yeah,
basically.
And then I have a whole. I want to get this done with my D&D stuff because Kendra and I have been working on. Only thing I'm going to say is we're working on some children's books based on our cats, and they're really cute. They're turning out really cute. So that's if I can get this down, I can get that down, and then it'll be really good. So this is something that I like to do. I'm a kids person.
I see this being published as a series of hardback things, but kids books are like floppy.
They're little
floppies.
Yeah.
All right,
cool.
So
let's get to news or to songs this morning real quick. I wanted to give you this song because this one was I was listening to Jimmy Buffett yesterday. This one popped up. It was actually a cover song.
Too good.
in the rotation that came up, and I can't remember who did this. The country music artist. It was a new country music artist that did a cover of this song, and I thought, oh, I forgot about that Jimmy Buffett song. It was such a good song. Oh, I thought I hit it. The song is Wonder Why We Ever Go Home. It is very slow. It's a beautiful guitar song. If you've never heard this one, I'm trying to, because Jimmy Buffett passed away and everybody's, let's do a tribute to Jimmy Buffett. Here's Margaritaville and Volcano and Fins and Cheeseburger in Paradise and all these songs that you've heard a billion of times. So I am here. I'm an actual DJ. I'm here to make you listen to other stuff that's actually good and that you probably never heard before. So Wonder Why We Ever Go Home by Jimmy Buffett is a beautiful song. This type of song displays why songwriters loved Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett wrote the fun calypso-y type, fun drinking beach songs, but Jimmy Buffett was an unbelievable songwriter, man, and this is a proof. This song is proof that he's of his songwriting ability. So listen to this. We've added this one, and I added a bonus song to our playlist today. If you will look right above JJ's head, abracadabra, and there is the QR code. Go to our Discord server, go down to the Deeks playlist, and the extra bonus song today, because today is September 7th. JJ, you may remember you were probably in your late teens, early 20s back in 1996. How old were we? 19, 18, 19?
96. I would have been right now in 96. I would have been 18 years old, getting ready to join the army. On this date, September 7th, 1996, Tupac was shot, and he died 6 days later in the hospital. But I loved Tupac at the time, and I had a buddy that loved Tupac at the time, so I was forced to listen to Tupac. So I appreciated Tupac because I got to hear songs that you weren't force fed, and I got to hear the Tupac songs that were like, I didn't grow up this way, but wow, the guy's a poet. It wasn't just some of the other rap. Tupac was really an artist. He was a modern day poet. And this one's a good one. Changes. It's got a Bruce Hornsby in the Range song that he samples in it. It's really good. I always like Changes. So Tupac was shot on this date, 1997. So there's some Tupac today. Or was he?
It was in Las Vegas, wasn't he?
No, I said, or was he?
Oh, or I thought you said, where was he?
Maybe.
So I listened to some conspiracy theories about this not too long ago, where somebody passed away that was with them or something and had a whole big another,
Yeah.
And then with his Machiavelli CD that came out and the whole conspiracy theory
that came out post-mortem. Didn't that come out like after he?
Tupac was shot on this day, but he died 6-7 days later, and that CD came out post-mortem, and it was called the Machiavelli, the 7-Day Theory. And he had, when he died 7 days, and it was all, in one of the songs, he goes, Suge shot me. On one of the songs at the very beginning. You can hear it. Me and my buddy used to listen to it all the time. I don't remember which one it was. So that was on that album was called Machiavelli, the 7-Day Theory, I think is what it was called. Good stuff.
Between the two of us.
I remember all this shit, but I can't remember my wife's birthday. What the fuck, man?
That's what Google's for. Get a Google alert. All right, guys, if you hadn't seen it already, the title of today's show, Minimize Contact. Is that Coof Precaution or Senile Dementia? Coof. It's a Coof. You can't say the other word. The other word gets you taken down.
I don't know what other word that is.
Exactly. So, for those of you that don't know, I believe it was yesterday, President Joe Biden was conducting a ceremony to honor recipients of the Medal of Honor. It was amazing.
I'm going to go turn this down. I'm listening to you. I'm going to turn down this radio.
All right. Let me get to the top of it. So let's see. Joe Biden was placing the Medal of Honor on United States Army captain and Vietnam War veteran Larry Taylor. But normally you would expect during a ceremony that, you conclude the ceremony and then everybody says goodbye and, they conclude the ceremony and then you leave. But not in Joe Biden's America. No, in Joe Biden's America, you just take off. You just leave. So we got a little video clip here. Let's see. Here it is right here. Let me pull this up. Do. Is it that one? This one? I think it's this one. Share. Here you go, Deke. This is here is Joe Biden at the I guess this is maybe just after he's placed the medal on his neck. And here we go. Oh, I gotta go here. Sorry. Can we hear it? Do you hear anything?
No.
Oh, here he is. So there's Larry, got that medal around his neck, and there's Joe. I should have bigoted it. He just leaves. He didn't say bye. Everybody's like confused. What just happened? I guess we're done. There's nobody conducting this. Nobody conducting this thing. He just left Larry at the front of this crowd. Larry's like, I guess we're done here. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for the benediction.
Lucky for this guy, because he was privileged to not only get the highest medal in the country, the highest honor, but he was also privileged to not have to stand beside a fucking pedophile and get his picture made next to a pedophile. So he won twice with Joe Biden just leaving like that. Thank you, Joe Biden, for taking your pedophilia, child sniffing, daughter showering ass out of this ceremony, honoring a real hero. Thank you, Joe, for leaving, you piece of shit.
Yeah. So
way to go, Larry, for dodging that bullet.
Now, you might not believe this, but journalists didn't exactly believe that that was on purpose. So the White House trotted out the press secretary, aka drunk KJP, to put it all in context for you. Okay. She said, let's see, do we have a video of her talking? Because I love it when she talks. Here we go.
And he left as planned, as it was planned. He left.
He
left as planned, as it was planned.
As it was planned.
He left when there was a pause in the program in order to minimize.
He left it to minimize
those contact with attendees who are about to participate in a reception.
COVID.
As you all reported that, noticed that he left.
I mean,
can I just point something out here?
But
he wanted to minimize contact. Hold on. He wanted to minimize contact, Deke. So he walks directly down the middle of this entire room instead of minimize contact.
For somebody that, if you are a bullshit spewer like me, I have spent 30, 40 years of my life perfecting the art of spewing bullshit. I've got a job that allows me to do that for a living and get paid to do it. As someone that recognizes bullshit, the red flags that she throws up are redder than her fucking outfit right there, man. I'm telling you, she is just mumbling. Every time she gets up there, she mumbles the genericest fucking shit that ever. It's like perfect political answers that doesn't get any answers to any questions.
Right.
And it's like, this is a stupid game. I look at the White House press secretary and all this shit as a stupid game. Can you get rid of her for a second? I'm sick of looking at her.
Yeah, sure. Bye, KJ.
It's a stupid game because no matter who the press secretary is, they are going to get up there and give you regurgitated, parroted, scripted to the T by 15 fucking people so that every word is exactly how Webster's dictionary wanted it to be.
Sure.
All right? So you're going to get this churned out, machine-fed bullshit. It don't matter if there's Republicans or Democrats.
That's true.
Okay. But here's where the problem is. All of the press that are in there get on their knees and suck so much dick to get in there in that press room that they are not the real press that asks the real stories.
We don't have a real press.
Bullshit, softball, fucking slow pitch questions so that KJP and whoever the fuck's up there can regurgitate well, he done exactly what he was supposed to minimize contact with the American public. Thank you for the bullshit. This is why this is a big fucking Zaphoid Beeble box fucking marionette show to me.
Well, I mean, this is not about conveying honest answers. This is about shaping the narrative.
Shaping the narrative. Don't
That's what it is.
feed me bullshit.
That's exactly what it is.
Who are we shaping the narrative for? The masses of fucking people whose IQ is 95 and below? Is that who you're shaping?
Yes.
I mean, is that I'm being facetious?
For real. No, it's not a joke.
A real question.
It's not a
joke.
joke.
That is who we're doing it for.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's the dumb people.
And you say the dumb people, but it really, that's the way to describe it. But it's people whose IQ is less and don't understand. They don't understand.
It's not just the dumb people. It's the inattentive as well. You know, we're doing this every single day. But dude, most people, they don't even read the news. They don't even read the news.
My dad, they don't know shit. My dad and brother don't know shit about politics.
They get drive-by news. They literally flip through channels and they might hear something, or something might come on the radio while they're driving to work, or maybe somebody says something to them because that somebody heard something. But most people are not engaged in tracking the news. Nope. They don't watch. If you don't watch every day, you can't establish this is a fucking liar. This is a person that lies outright every day.
All the time. Right.
All the time. You can't get the cues. You can't catch the cues.
It's a perfect example. My brother said something about a very prominent, well-known scientist, physicist in the community that always mouths off and is always the talking head on TV shows. He's a very mouthy physicist with 3 names. I'm not going to name him. And he was like, I like listening to this guy, blah, blah, blah. He was on Joe Rogan and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, he's nice to come off to listen to on the surface, but nobody respects him. That he is an entertainer physicist. That's why he's the only one that you ever see on TV and everywhere. He's an entertainer physicist, and all the other physicists are like, whatever the fuck Neil says is stupid. Don't listen to him. But everybody listens to him.
Well, he is entertaining.
He is entertaining.
He is entertaining, and because he's definitely got entertainer blood. Blood.
You're right.
And sometimes the stuff he says is like, oh, that makes sense. And then sometimes he says stuff, and I'm like, Neil, don't be a fucking stupid
idiot.
I don't know. He's a very smart guy. But you know what? Very smart people get tricked.
Are tools and
can believe dumb things too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got Joe Biden walking directly down the middle of an entire room of people to minimize contact. We got KJP lying about shit because, she's that's her job. And let's see. We got I had another one here. I want to see if I had these in any kind of order. Yeah, we'll do this. Kamala Harris. Don't you love Kamala? Kamala Harris says that she's ready. She's ready to be the president of the United States.
I bet she is. Now, Kamala Harris has been the president of the United States for the past 3 fucking years. What are you talking
about? Nobody's driving this fucking train, dude.
Are you kidding me? Yes, they are.
Prepare yourself for some words of wisdom.
Driving this train.
I want you to really soak in the wisdom that's you're about to be illuminated by.
He is more the president's age often go hand in hand with questions about how you would step in the role, if necessary. Do you feel prepared for that possibility?
Do you feel prepared for that possibility?
And serving as vice president prepared you for that job?
Yes.
And how would you describe that process?
Good.
As far as being ready for that.
Well, first of all, answering your hypothetical.
You got a complex answer here. Let's break it down.
But Joe Biden's going to be fine, so that is not going to come to fruition. But let us also understand that every vice president
every vice president,
every one of them
understands that when they take the oath,
that
they must be
very
clear about the responsibility
prepared
they have
to take.
Be clear about it.
So this stupid bitch just told you what
that was the whole clip.
The definition of a fucking being vice president is. This fucking retard
that was the whole clip.
Just
that was her whole answer.
Fucking answered what a vice president does. Thank you for fucking clearing that up, Kamala. You can get back on your knees now.
First of all, let's be very clear. Joe's going to be fine. Nothing could possibly happen. But then second of all, you must be clear about the understanding that every one of them, every vice president must have a clear understanding
of VPs.
That
we're talking
if they
all
take
the way
this
back
job,
to John Adams days and shit, man. John fucking Adams.
Oh God, we've elected the fucking dumbest people in the world.
And they bitch about Trump.
How are we losing? How have we lost? It doesn't make sense.
It was stolen. I've tried to tell you it was stolen.
Yeah, I know. 81 million people decided that was the. Actually, you know what?
Feasible way.
Hold on. I posted on Twitter a few days ago. I think I have an answer to what actually happened, Deacon. Hang on.
Oh my Lord. We've got some funny stories. We gotta get to this shit. I'm tired of talking about pedophiles and
I know
whores.
You don't really like those folks.
I don't want to talk about horrors anymore.
Let's see.
Here we go. Out of the way first.
So somebody Still Gray. You probably don't follow Still Gray on Twitter, but he's Ian Miles Strong on Twitter. He posted a question a few days ago. It was like how. Let's see. Can anyone explain to me why so many people think Biden is a good president? And here you go. Bloop. Here's my response. Here's Ian says, can anyone explain why so many people think Biden is a good president? And this was my answer. This is a normal distribution curve, and there's 81 million Biden voters that are below the line. That is how. That is how.
Right. That's exactly.
So. All right. All right. Now,
okay. So you got one more Biden story.
Yeah. Is it the
Biden
Hunter? We got to do Hunter.
I mean, that one is. I've heard this one on the news. The news is talking about it. So let's at least highlight this one.
Yep. Hunter is about to become the hunted. In a court filing, David Weiss intends to indict Hunter Biden before the end of the month. We'll see. Special counsel David Weiss plans to indict Hunter Biden. The Speedy Trial Act requires that the government obtain the return of an indictment by a grand jury by Friday, September 29th, 2023 at the earliest, Weiss wrote on Wednesday. The government intends to seek the return of an indictment in the case before that date. The filing was made upon a court order to provide a status update on the case or on or before September 6, 2023. It is not known at this time what charges Hunter Biden might face. In August, Hunter's plea deal broke down upon scrutiny from a judge throwing the wrench into the agreement. So Hunter, for those of you that don't know, Hunter Biden had kind of like made this backroom deal with federal prosecutors. Oh yeah, plead to the guilty to like the gun charge and this little tax thing. And what we'll do is we'll write this extra provision in the backside of this addendum agreement, and then it basically grants him immunity from anything possibly related to anything described, which would have given him immunity from FARA, foreign registration violations, and several other things. So,
and this is how they do it all the time for rich people. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
This is for people in power. And if you'll notice, they probably didn't say it in there. His lawyers were trying to excuse me. His lawyers were trying to fast track this.
You need to minimize contact, Deacon. Minimize it.
It's fucking Joe. Some bitch is back there trying to get coffee and just coughing all over the place. They were trying to fast track this through the law. I can't remember what the law is that a speedy trial.
Yeah.
They were trying to do that, and his lawyers were trying to do that. And I'm like, motherfucker should have to wait 3 years like everybody else sitting in. He should have to, next to Pookie in prison, who's sitting there in the county jail.
We got
wait 6 months before his trial. Hunter needs to do the same thing. I want to hear Pookie. What happened with Pookie?
J6 defendants that got rowdy, maybe broke a window, and they get like 22 years in prison. They get 18 years in prison. This dude was selling access to the vice president in the Obama administration. Mm-hmm. The vice president, current president. He was selling access, selling out America.
And brain dead Biden voters like my freaking landlord is going to be like, Trump hid secrets in a secret chest in his Mar-a-Lago house.
Whatever.
He had like a whole, it was like the Goonies. Did you know you had to go down and play a piano and slide down a big slide? That's how detailed it was in Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago mansion.
Yeah.
But Hunter Biden, we won't even talk him to, we just barely, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's only a little bit of total corruption of the highest position of the highest office in America, the leader of the free world, whatever. It's just a little bit.
All right. So
slap on the wrist. You broke a window. 2 decades in jail. You weren't even there. But you talked to somebody that was there. So 2 decades. That's what Enrique Tarrio got. All right, let's go on.
I got a story for you, JJ, and I figured this one will spark some discussion. And if we have Sinister Minister on tomorrow, he would be a good one. Maybe we need to bring this one back up tomorrow to have a good discussion about this one. But I ran across this today, and I didn't want to lose it. Some small towns in America are disbanding police forces because they can't hire anybody. And we talked about this the other day. Didn't you have a story?
Yeah, Where
was it?
It was Austin.
The other day.
Austin. The chief of police is resigning after 25 years, and because they can't hire anybody, even though they brought turns out, if you tell police we don't want you, and then cut the budget, and then you're like, oh, we'll bring the budget back. The police are like, yeah, but you didn't fucking want us, so bye.
And this Goodhue, Minnesota police chief struggled all summer to fill vacancies. He told the city council, unless the pay and benefits improved, he would find new officers. Sorry, I've got some bad indigestion this morning. Nothing changed, so he quit. And so did his few remaining officers, leading the Minnesota town of 1,300 residents. And I know some of you people live in big cities and you're like 1,300.
Wow.
Not that big.
Yeah.
1,300 people it's not that big, but it is big. 1,300 people. What are you how do you police 1,300 people? What happens?
Right.
Well, that's the legitimate question that I posted in our thing. What happens? What do you have a private force? Do you, and does that private force, do they have to follow the laws of America? What kind of laws do they follow?
It depends on the state and whatnot. This is in Minnesota, so I don't know. I would imagine that it falls to the county sheriff. In most places, I think the sheriff is an elected position and they can deputize people. So this town that had a police department doesn't have one anymore. So now the policing duties are going to fall to the sheriff and the deputy
already
of the county.
Thin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not like he's going to get more money and more budget, right? You got, in fact, it says right there, let's see, from Minnesota to Maine, Ohio to Texas, small towns unable to fill jobs are eliminating their police departments and turning police work to their county sheriff, a neighboring town or police state or state police. So they're just like, well, we'll just rely on your town's police to come help us out.
Do you really, I'm asking a serious question here. Do you really think that that's what happens?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know that where I live, which is a big city, right? I mean, big, certainly bigger than 1,300. Outskirts of Houston. We not only have the, police in Houston and police in Spring, but we have Harris County sheriffs and Montgomery County sheriffs. And a lot of times the county sheriffs kind of like coordinate with one another across county borders. So
we do here. And Kentucky's got 120 counties in the state. So we've got 120 different sheriff's offices just in our state. And it's the
those
same.
Guys are all square too. All on the up and up.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm telling you that there are people in rural areas handle things without contact. If something happens, the first thing that they think of is not, I need to call a law enforcement official of some sort. That's not even the first 10 things that they think of. It is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, like, okay, so there's and
I'm not saying there's anything nefarious. That's just the way. That's just the way country people take care of country people.
When help is only minutes away and seconds count, right? Like the.
I think we're thinking. I think our minds are thinking of two different scenarios in this situation. But
you got if you have some sort of an altercation, well, or somebody. I mean, I'm thinking criminal activity or something like that. I hope you live in a state where you're allowed to protect yourself or your family or your property, but you might not. You might live in a state where you must retreat. There's a lot of states like that, Deke, where they have that. If you are assaulted, it is your legal obligation to retreat, to run away.
I'm glad I live in that state. There was another story.
I think that overall this is good though, because if we see police collapse, maybe it might be good. If we see police collapse, then we will break this mental conditioning in our minds and in our culture that it's up to somebody else to save me, and we'll start to build a cultural framework of protect yourself, protect your family, protect your neighbors, protect your community.
And if you want to know how to do that, you could watch the movies True Grit, or you could watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or and learn all the skills that you would need when police and law enforcement goes awry and people start taking matters into their own hands. I mean, we've got a plethora. We've got several years there in the late 1800s that shows exactly what happens. So, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
wasn't all that cowboy stuff like exaggerated from the the Old West? Wasn't it like? You got like 50 years, 60 years of cowboy movies, but like, wasn't it only like that's the 5-10 year window that it was actually that wild?
It was only that cowboy
like 18
was only in the late 1800s, like 20 years, maybe 30 years, maybe into the early 1900s.
I know you want to move on, but I'm just kind of stuck on this for just a second.
I've got to talk for a minute and 20 seconds.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to talk about kind of culture. Right. You live in Kentucky. I live in Texas, but there's a lot of people that live in the East Coast. Right. And they have a lot more urban. They have some cultural foundations that are that are very different than where we're from. Texas and probably rural areas of Kentucky have a cultural tradition that is based or in part on or leans a lot more on the rugged individualism, the handle it yourself. If something's broke, you fix it yourself. You figure it out because there's nobody coming to save you. There are, and I'm not saying that that's the only valid culture. I'm saying that there are different elements to the cultural framework to different parts of America that result in different things being valued more. In the East, in the Northeast, in the New England states, the former New England states, there is a less of a rugged individualist tradition and a lot more of kind of things that are like community and working together and coalescing and different things like that. So we have some it's not as simple as like, well, you guys this is obviously the right way to do things, that's the wrong way to do things. There are values that are an expression of cultural foundations that are very, very different. And, people in the Northeast, they might actually value being part of a community and group so much more. And whereas I'm basically at my deepest level, I'm like, look, you do whatever the fuck you want and leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. And and everybody will be happy that way. And a lot of people where I live are like that. So we're friendly. We're like, hi, but like, don't get in my business. I don't want to be in yours. We got some chat over here. What's going on over here? Oh, do good. Morning, do good. Hope this doesn't sound too condescending from an outsider, but it's baffling me how 330 million Americans cannot find better candidates than Biden and Trump. Oh, that's from a few minutes ago. Oh, Deke agrees. Well, here's the thing. Good people that are industrious and, of high value don't normally seek service in a public gig. Normally people get into politics are,
Yeah,
you get phone call.
You're exactly right. I was just telling somebody this the other day. I was telling my brother, I was like, Ben Shapiro. I love Ben Shapiro. I wish he'd run for president, but he's too smart to run for president. All the people that I want to run for president are too smart to run for president. They're like, I don't want that. I gotta get.
He's got to get the phone. So, like good, smart, industrious, entrepreneurial, like people like that. They're not, their first gig is not, I need to be running for public office. No, they're like, I'm going to build a company. I'm going to employ people. I'm going to provide for my family. I'm going to make stuff. The kind of people that you're talking about, the exceptionally high quality people, those people don't want to run for public office where you just get your hands tied with red tape and you got to go through, you get permissions from all these other people. No, they don't want to do that. Now, Trump, I think, is probably exceptional because, and I get it if you don't like Trump and his international appeal is low or whatever. Trump made his money. He ran his business. He built an empire with some of that debt. Yeah, a lot of it's debt and a lot of it's revenue and, whatever, like his whole financial situation. He did all of that. And I think it's my opinion that he truly thought he could make things better. So, I think that was his motivation to run, and has encountered like obvious corruption and obvious, establishment resistance. The establishment just wants to stay in power and soak it up.
Yeah, Trump was, like you said, Trump was a businessman. He was not groomed his entire life to be a politician. Those people that are going to be politicians they begin being groomed to be politicians, right. And they're taught to say certain things and do certain things and stay out of certain things and not say and do certain things. And Trump didn't have that. Trump was a famous person, and I'm sorry, no matter how many times you want to deny this because you've never seen it or experienced it or you just don't believe it, this is the truth. There are some women, not all women, but there are some women out there that they throw themselves at famous people. They don't care what those famous people do to them. They don't care as long as they are around the famous person, and I won't elaborate any further, but Donald, okay. and this is what the left is trying to point out that makes him a insufferable person. No, we're all insufferable people at one point in our life. Okay. We've all said and done something that we don't wish that a freaking camera had picked up. Okay. And Trump was just, he was not a political person. He was a business person. And that's right. What they don't, that's their one main, that's why he done so well, right. I think.
Yeah, I think so. And he was an entertainer, and there's a lot of different qualities. He's obviously, he had TV shows, and he obviously gets a lot out of being in a crowd and feeding on that energy and then channeling it. He gets so much out of that.
JJ, Trump was the greatest distraction in the history of distractors.
Yeah,
he is one of the only people in the history of humans that can say one sentence and completely piss off like hundreds of millions of people and completely make hundreds of millions of people joyful.
I think
not many humans can say that they can do that.
He's got to talk. I'm not sure the distraction is exactly the right word, because that makes it seem like somebody else is pulling the strings though. And anyway, okay, let's I'm certain that this topic will not go away. Okay, so we got some news out of Mexico. Mexico has decriminalized abortion, extending the Latin American trend of widening access to procedure. Mexico's Supreme Court threw out all federal criminal penalties for abortion on Wednesday, ruling that national laws prohibiting the procedure are unconstitutional and violate women's rights in a sweeping decision that extend Latin Americans' trend of widening abortion access. The High Court ordered that abortion be removed from a federal penal code. The ruling will require the Federal Public Health Service and all federal institutions to offer abortion to anyone who requests it. No woman or pregnant person nor healthcare worker will be punished for abortion. The Information Group for Chosen Reproduction, known by its Spanish initials GIRE, said in a statement, some 20 Mexican states still criminalize abortion, and judges in those states have to abide by the court's decision. Further legal work will have to be done to remove penalties. I don't know. As America is retreating from this, death culture of abortion. The rest of the world is, or at least Latin America, is marching into it.
Wait a minute, or do you think this is hey, you want to make a lot of money?
Oh,
how do we make money?
Do you got poor people where you live?
We could set up these vacations and have these women come down on these vacations and have an abortion, and then they can sit on the beach for a while and have like a little vacation, and then they can go back to America.
See.
And we can charge them X amount of money.
Devious.
You don't think that was already thought up before they even passed this? Come on.
The baby killing tourist industry.
Baby killing tourist industry, JJ.
Damn. I didn't even see that coming.
Dude.
I looked right past it.
When I saw this story, I was like, well, there's a whole brand new
go down to Cabo,
industry.
have some
People go to Mexico and overseas,
sex on the beach,
like India, to get their teeth fixed and stuff like that. Because it's so expensive in America. You can get the exact same thing for like
for some reason. It reminds me of like this group 3 or 4 people went down to Mexico for some sort of liposuction. Not you, but and then like cartels killed them.
Yeah, we read that story. Yeah, we sure did.
All right, ladies, go on down to Mexico and get your babies killed.
Oh, Mexico! We should have made that one.
Too bad. Jimmy Buffett didn't make a baby killing song.
That's he didn't. It's called Mexico. And James Taylor actually wrote it.
Hey, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. All right. I've
got a good story for you, Jay.
Yeah. Okay. What you got?
Yeah,
we only got a couple left.
Yeah,
I got a couple. But go ahead. I think we're down to fun stuff pretty much.
Yeah, you'll like this one. So,
no,
India has they landed a moon lander on the moon. It only had 27 riders on the moon, like that were hanging on.
That's an India thing right there. Do you know this?
Yeah. Have you seen that meme of the moon lander?
Oh, yes, I see.
Indians hanging on.
Yes, I saw that.
Pretty funny.
Okay, that's racist.
That's not racist. That's a joke on their fucking railway system, you assholes. Get a fucking learn, you 80 IQ idiots. All right. India's moon lander has detected moonworms underneath the surface. I'm telling you, JJ,
where
the moon is
IFL science
hollowed. There is aliens underneath. They've got a full technology network.
Mm-hmm.
And NASA's been hiding it from us for years.
I didn't know that space worms were driving the moon.
Have you seen Tremors? They're called graboids.
First of all, I've seen Tremors so many times. What an amazing movie.
Those are great.
An amazing movie.
I know, I love that movie. All right. So anyway, a few weeks ago, the Indian lander and rover successfully touched down on the lunar surface, making it the 4th nation to do so. Since then, the mission is aimed at primarily examining the composition of the lunar soil. It has detected sulfur, aluminum, calcium, iron, chromium, titanium, magnesium, or magnet, whatever, silicon, and oxygen. It's also completed a lunar first by measuring the temperature at the lunar South Pole and found time to take a selfie before the rover took a well-earned rest through the lunar night. Though the rover gets the headlines with its tools for analyze, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Where does it say this at?
Oh, this makes sense. The quakes. There's well, I don't know. There's quakes on the moon. Okay.
Yeah.
So they got the little seismograph thing doing the little zip, 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 that deal there.
Yeah.
And there's quakes on the moon. So, first of all, you think like, well, are there volcanoes or, what's going on inside the moon? It's not like that. the moon is like whatever it's made of, but the Earth is pulling on it and pushing on it.
Yeah, they don't think the moon has tectonic plates. They think the Earth is just kind of like what you're putting a ball underneath a dress or something. It's just
in the same exact way that the moon is pulling on the Earth's oceans, and we have tide in, tide out, right? Well, the Earth is pulling on the moon, and probably as strong or equally strong. So that's probably what they're detecting. Like it's moving, like the rock material or whatever inside of the moon is probably just smushing the left and right a little bit.
Yeah, it's totally not an alien civilization living underneath.
I know you want to believe that. I know you want to believe that. What are they doing if they're up there? What are they doing? Are they just watching us? Are they?
If I was up there, I would be like
moon ship.
I'm pretty convinced that it's a giant camera, and the Earth is like the biggest reality TV show.
Truman Show.
No, it's not really like a Truman Show. I'm more thinking along the lines of do you remember when Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie went to the farms and started working in the farms and stuff? Or Jerry Springer. It's more like a Jerry Springer type.
Right. Yeah.
show.
Okay.
It is so we on Earth are so screwed up and have screwed up everything.
Hey, watch this. We're going to give them like a little bit of technology and microchips.
Yeah.
Watch, they'll make bombs and then they're going to blow shit up.
Are like, these people are such a train wreck. It's like us. We watch train wrecks. We're like, this woman is, oh my God, I got to watch this woman. She's so terrible. I think that's what we are. And the moon is a giant camera. And you're right. I mean, we went like this for years with technology, and they were like, this is boring. Let's give them a computer and see what they do. So I think that's what this is completely.
Do good had a comment. We were like, smart people avoid politics. He agreed with you. Probably he agreed with us. Probably right. Smart people avoid being in politics. And then he had a comment about our Mexico story, Deke. Yeah, he says that you got your bald cap in Mexico. Oh, ay.
It was
caliente.
It was only 16 pesos. I mean, I talked the guy down. He wanted 35, and I talked him down to 16 in the marketplace. But it looks pretty good, don't it? I mean,
yeah, very realistic.
It is very realistic.
Normally, those actors, you could see that seam around,
seam, but you can't. You can't even see my seam.
It's very good. The transition from real skin to makeup skin.
Thank you.
I've never seen anything like that.
I wake up at 3 a.m. to do the makeup. It's a special combination of bases, 2 different bases.
All right. So we got at least one more story, and then I want
to. That was pretty funny. I love Do Good. That's hilarious.
Okay. We got a story about a Florida man.
Oh, this one will be good. Yeah. What did Florida man do this time?
A Florida man attempted to run across the Atlantic Ocean. And
say that again now.
A Florida man is facing federal charges for attempting to run across the Atlantic Ocean in a floating hamster wheel. So, to which I'm like, why are you guys? Why? Just let him do it if he wants to do that. If people want to do this, let him do it. A Florida man faces federal charges for attempting to run across the Atlantic Ocean in a hamster wheel. Ray Bellucci, 51 years old, was arrested after a 3-day standoff near Tybee Island, Georgia, just 70 miles into his 5,000 nautical mile journey. Bellucci is an Iranian national who lives in Florida, and he made a similar attempt in 2014, 2016, and 2021. He made a high.
They told him, we fucking told you 3 times to quit.
Stop it. We had a hydropod that was made of a metal cage and floating balls around the edge to make it buoyant. Didn't that thing look like it would just barely float?
Oh my God.
Okay. Let's see. Bellucci was brought to land on September 1st. He's been charged with obstruction of boarding and violation of a captain of the port order. Based on the condition of the vessel, which was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys, they determined that Bellucci was conducting a manifestly unsafe voyage. Yeah, I'd say that looks unsafe.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, first of all, there's like massive swells in the ocean, like 30, 40 feet sometimes, right? Maybe higher. Just normal weather. This dude would just get thrown around.
You don't care, man. Put a couple beanbags in there. You'll be good.
Yeah. When he has a life vest.
You ain't going to get wet.
All right. Well, Florida, man. Good job, Florida. You guys lead the nation in every way. I got some comic booky type stuff. It's not comic book, but it's kind of comic booky.
Okay.
There's Kickstarter, Deke. There's Indiegogo. There's another one called fundmycomic.com. Okay. And basically these are it's like a fundraising site. You sign up, you find a campaign that you're interested in, you sign up, and then you can back it. And, it's not exactly purchasing, because a lot of times you've literally are providing the funds for them to get their little thing off the ground to make it happen. And I've backed a couple of things on Fund My Comic. I backed Kelsey Shannon's sketchbook and a couple of others. I don't remember what else I backed. Well, I saw this on an article. This is a Fund My Comic, what do you call it? Fundraiser for a board game. The board game is Virtual NPC. It's a board game where you basically, the wokest person wins. Okay. And they have a bunch of expansions too. They have Virtue Signal, and they have first of all, for just $1, you can just support. You can just be like, hey, I support you. For $9, you can get a set of tabletop gaming consent forms. So they let people in your circle know that things are going to get very real, and you're going to consent to have some fun. And you can identify really, really sensitive people and get the whining, just cover that whining, all of that. So for $10, you can get some consent forms for your game. And then they have $22. You can get the let's see, which one is this? This is the Oops, All Greta's. They have Virtue Signal, the game, a game of social justice. And then they have Virtue Signal Deplorables, which is an expansion. And then they have NPC, which is another expansion. So each one of these, I mean, and then you can get the whole thing. You can get a kit of all of them for $80.
That's a new thing that's actually going around in the Dungeons and Dragons community right now, that some people are like, oh, that is so good. And some people are like, this is the dumbest shit ever. If you've got to have something like this, you don't know how to play the game. And it's like, it's called D&D safety tools. And you have your little D&D safety tool. And if you are playing in a game, let's say I'm running you in this fantasy game, and in this game you walk into the city, and in this city, JJ, there's these two big 6 foot tall orcs there, these mean looking orcs, and they've got this little goblin by a chain on his neck, and they're dragging him through the city. And you're watching these orcs drag this little goblin through the city, and the little goblin's trying to get his, foot, kind of get his feet up underneath him. And every time he does, the orc will yank it and drag. And that might hurt my players' feelings. And they will then report the DM. And if you're a DM that is a professional DM, you can stop making your money because you're telling a fucking story about an imaginary fucking mythological creature, and you've hurt somebody's goddamn feelings.
Oh my. Well, I know that didn't they outlaw races or something in Dungeons and Dragons recently?
They've tried to do everything like that.
Yeah. This game has 12 base characters, including Problem Glasses, Antifa Crusader. You got the Fedora guy. You got the broody matriarch. You have you got the Wiccan. You got the Soy Boy. You got the journalist, and you got a new character, Fang Fang. So you could play as any of these characters, and then you acquire followers. And then whoever gets the most followers wins, right? And you can have microaggressions, which will mess people up. To get rid of microaggressions, you have to Virtue Signal, And
this is always this game in my fucking head. It's a great idea, and I'll give you a clap for the good idea, but Jesus Lord, I don't want to play that shit.
I think my kids are way too young for this, but anyway. So I like to promote comics and indie stuff. So I thought this was pretty clever. My brother loves board games. I've been playing a lot of games with my kids. We played. Oh my God, what did we play over the weekend? I forgot. It wasn't Risk. We've played Risk before. My Little Girls. I forgot the name of the game. It's in the closet. Oh, we played Catan. My little girls played Catan with me.
Good. Yeah,
that's a great board game. Oh, geez, it's gonna bug me. I'm gonna go to look in the closet and see what that game is. Anyway, yeah. So indie comics. There's some indie comics on there, including. Let me go over here. Their biggest one, I believe, is a knockoff. Not a knockoff. It's inspired by The Little Mermaid. It's called The Little Mermaid. And she's like a Deadpool killer, but she's a mermaid. Pretty cool.
There is there's a cute card game that if you wanted something to play with your girls, they might like this. It's kind of fantasy, and you can buy the generic one, or you can they have all kinds of different expansion sets so that you can like customize what you want to play, but it's called Munchkin. All right.
Oh. Yeah.
If you've never played, man, me and my kids, when we had the sci-fi one and the regular one, and they've got all kinds of different sets. So you could find one with dragons, and your girls would love it if you had the different dragons. They would love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a cute little game for kids. I like that stuff to get young kids interested in role playing and board games and stuff like that. And me and Deacon, my son, made a card game a long time ago. I made the card game. I just include him with it. A long time ago. I told you about it many, many years ago. I've still got all of my graphics. I actually went and was using AI to make the graphics for my card art now, because I don't have to pay an artist to do it, because I don't have money to do that.
Yeah.
And I can make my cards now and get them printed up. But it was a game designed to let kids 7 and younger learn simple math skills, but also get them interested in collectible card games and superheroes. But it used one 6-sided dice, and then you added that dice with the number on your card, and then you did subtraction and you only did addition and subtraction, and it was simple math. It was designed for kids 10 and younger. It basically, I wanted a simple math game for kids. I didn't want a collectible. I wanted something simple for kids.
This is one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because my oldest daughter can read, right, and my youngest daughter, she's not behind the curve. She's on pace, but I want to promote, like, here's a reason to read. Here's a reason to do math in your head. And it's fun. Playing games together is a great educational thing.
Yeah. You're exactly right. And that's what I always said about the role-playing games, and role-playing games, no matter if it was D&D or whatever you do, they are good builders of many different qualities that you need as adults. One of the main things I used to say is I think we had a whole generation of people come up that are in their late 20s and early 30s now, that their parents absolutely did not let them get humiliated. Because as a parent, you do not want your daughters to be humiliated, do you? You don't want them to be publicly humiliated, and you're going to try everything in your power to keep them from being publicly humiliated. But when your daughter turns 30 years old and she is publicly humiliated for the first time, how is she going to react? Because you never allowed her to learn those skills, those much needed skills as a parent. And even though we're parents and we don't want to hurt our children, I don't want my son to have a broken heart, but he got his heart broken and it really hurt my feelings. And I wanted to do something and I couldn't do anything, but I knew that my son, this was something that he had to go through, and I had to just suffer in silence with him. I went in there, I walked in his room, I grabbed him, I gave him a huge hug around his neck, didn't say a fucking word to him, walked out of the room. I didn't say anything to him.
You're not You're not going to make him feel better, and he has to go through this.
Yeah, he's got to go through this. I let him know I'm there. I love him. That's it. And it's the same way.
I'm here.
And it's the same way with this mess. You've got to learn this.
Yeah.
And D&D allowed us to learn to be humiliated, learn to make a decision and have consequences that ended up being negative, without actually having them in the real world affect us.
Yeah.
I'm forced with a, all right, you're in this room. It's filling up with water. There's guys up there shooting arrows at you. It's getting up to your neck. What are you going to do? It's over your nose. You need to roll, are you going to try to tread water? You've got real consequences now that are going to affect your character.
There's a reason why role playing is a useful tool in things like, sales training or anything else, because you simulate the, you literally are running simulations of the process, and in this case, in the case of these stories, you can human being, you're in here, right, and you're experiencing the world, and you're interpreting it, and you feel and respond to it. And there's very, very little difference between the real experience and a compelling story when the story engages your imagination, because then your imagination is creating the same stuff that otherwise you would be experiencing. So a good story, stories are the way that we train our lives and learn. Really, it's the way we really learn. There's very little difference internally, mechanically in your brain between a real experience and a fake experience. And you can, you can behave, you can shape your mind. All right.
So there's our geek talk for the day. If you want to talk some more geek talk, we've got geek talk in our Discord server. All right, JJ, you go first because my dad joke might be a little off color today.
Okay. All right. Hey, Deke, have you ever wondered why are cemeteries so crowded?
I know this one.
I bet you do.
I don't remember it. Why are cemeteries so crowded?
People are dying to get in.
Oh, that's right. People are dying to get in. Oh, boo. I don't hear that.
What?
Boo.
No, guys, don't boo. Don't just stop. Oh, you turned on me just like that.
We don't hear you at all. I don't hear it.
Oh, you don't hear it at all?
All right. Here's mine. This one's not so much a dad joke. This is teetering the line of a dad joke. All right, I try to make them clean. All right. My friend's son was born without eyelids. So when he was circumcised, they used the foreskin to reconstruct the eyelids.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he grew up to be cockeyed.
Oh God. Oh no. God, that's terrible.
That's great.
All right, guys. Normally we would end the show here laughing and run the end credits, but in honor of our president Joe Biden, we're just gonna minimize contact and